We are live on YouTube.
Thank you and welcome to the March Town of Islip Board meeting. Apologize for the delay in starting. We had a few little technical difficulties as we're in this world of Zoom, but here we are. I'd like to begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Your flag is beautifully displayed. Councilwoman Bergen, why don't you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Thank you so much. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Well, March is National Women's History Month, as we've been hearing the last couple of days. And we're proud to recognize all the hardworking and devoted women who not only play a vital role in our town offices, but also all of the dedicated women throughout our town of Islip who shape and enrich our town. Actually, today I'd like to recognize and honor the memory of two residents, women residents of the town of Islip who passed away this morning. Both very engaged and involved in their community, both loved their town, lived here for many, many years. One being Georgia Leggio of Bayshore, and the other, Margaret Peggy Knox of West Islip, who was a nurse, emergency room nurse and Cub Scout leader and many, many other things in the community. So we wish their family well during this trying time. So yesterday, March 8th, was also International Women's Day. And while we use these celebrations of reminders to observe and commemorate the accomplishments of women around the world, this year in particular, the celebration goes beyond just one day or 1 month. 2020 was a year of challenges. Now, 3 months into 21, we continue to navigate the difficulties presented to us by the COVID-19 pandemic. So we thank you, mothers, grandmothers, sisters, aunts, wives, daughters, and all the women in our lives for all they have contributed to helping us through what has truly been a year of great and many challenges. Last week, we launched our pothole repair hotline and was really kind of excited to see that News 12 joined us in our mission to address the issue across the town, and not only the town of Islip, but certainly across Long Island. As everyone knows, potholes are caused by expansion and contraction of the groundwater. And when the water freezes, it expands, causing the potholes. While there's not much that we can do to prevent, with the public's assistance, roads can be back in shape in time for spring. Town crews estimate there are literally thousands of potholes throughout the town that need to be filled. Our crews work tirelessly to ensure the safety of our roads, and we're asking for the public's help. So if you see a pothole, if you would please call the pothole hotline at 224-5600 to report the location, details, or better yet, go online to islipny.gov/report and report the pothole. And we just ask that you be patient and we'll get there as quickly as we can. By popular demand, we're happy to announce that our smash hit workout and fitness series, Get Fit with Nick, will soon have more classes for you to enjoy. Since the start of the pandemic, we've offered the Get Fit with Nick series as an in-home fitness alternative to the exercise programs previously available in our senior centers. But it turns out that not just seniors are taking advantage of and enjoying the wonderful series that Nick has put together. So coming soon, they're doing 5 new classes: flexibility, strength, balance, super advanced, movement, in addition to the beginner and advanced classes. So Get Fit with Nick airs throughout the day on Altice Channel 18 or on FiOS Channel 1982. Certainly can be found on our social media platforms, on our website and YouTube. And also, just as people are starting to get vaccinated now, please check your vaccination eligibility. by visiting the New York State website. We learned today that the state is opening, well, actually there's already been a site operated by the county since January 6th over at Suffolk Community College in Brentwood in the town of Islip that has literally vaccinated thousands of people. And the state will be taking over that operation. They're expanding it to 7 days a week. And their goal is to vaccinate 3,000 people a day. And as every day passes, it seems that they broaden the eligibility. So it's very likely that we'll be seeing a lot of people being vaccinated. And also for seniors, because they do have a difficult time sometimes navigating the electronic platforms, but they can call the 311 number. Suffolk County has set up that 311 non-emergency number, but they can call 311 to book an appointment. Also, the COVID vaccine program at 844-919-8222. That's the Northwell COVID site, or the New York State hotline at 833-674-829. So we just urge everyone, as soon as you can, whatever vaccine is available, get it. I was talking to a doctor earlier and saying, was there any reason you should go with one over the other? And what he said to me was, the first vaccine you get is the one you should take, because regardless of which one it is, you're going to get 100% protection against three things: a severe case of COVID, being in the hospital with COVID, or dying from COVID. So it really, really is important that everybody who is eligible get vaccinated, so that hopefully we can get back to some sort of normalcy. Before we start with the agenda, I just want to remind everyone that we do have Board of Cleanup resolutions, public hearings on the agenda today. And if you wish to address the board on any of these public hearings, you can either use the raise hand function on Zoom or type your name and information into the Q&A section, and you will be recognized to speak. You have 3 minutes. And so forth. As of now, I don't think anyone has signed on to speak yet on any of the hearings, but that's it. So we will go to the town clerk and ask if she would please, Olga, read the hearing notice for us, please.
Yes, thank you. Today's one public hearing is to consider amending the Islip Town Code, Chapter 68, entitled Zoning.
Are there any questions or comments from the board? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion that we close the
Motion by
public
Council.
hearing, pass the resolution.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor,
Second.
second by Councilwoman Bergen. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It is approved. So we will go to the regular business to come before the town. The first item on the agenda is the meeting of the Town of Islip Industrial Development Agency. I'd ask for a motion to convene. Motion by Councilman Bergen, second by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor or opposed? We are convened. A quorum is present. And let us begin, if you would, Mr. Walzer.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and good afternoon, members of the agency board. John Walzer, 40 Nassau Avenue, Islip, New York. I have several items for your consideration this afternoon. The first item is to approve the minutes from the meeting of the agency board on February 9th of this year.
Are there any questions or comments on the minutes?
Make a motion to approve.
Thank you. Councilman Cochran made the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
By Councilman Bergen. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
The next item for your consideration is an inducement resolution between the agency and New York Tent LLC. They're purchasing 110 Wilbur Place in Bohemia. This will be the second building for New York Tent. They currently have a facility at 1401 Lakeland Avenue, also in Bohemia, where they employ 47 people. This is a $6.2 million capital investment, and they'll be adding conservatively 10 new jobs.
Okay, I just want to, Wilbur Place is in Bohemia, right?
Yes,
because
yes,
the backup I
Bohemia.
have indicates what Edgewood, so it may be one that was not corrected.
The 110 Wilbur Place is Bohemia.
Okay, very good. Are there any questions? Hearing none, motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Councilwoman Mullen, thank you. Second by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
The next item for your consideration is an authorizing resolution for a project you induced last month for Supplement Manufacturing Partners at 1 Rodeo Drive, Edgewood, New York. This vitamin company is relocating and expanding in the Heartland Business Park.
Any questions? Motion? Motion by Councilwoman Bergen, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
The next item for your consideration is a resolution authorizing a one-year agreement with SMM Advertising.
Any questions? Hearing none, motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second
Second.
by Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved.
The next item for your consideration is a resolution authorizing approving a tenant at 131 Heartland Boulevard in Edgewood. The name of the company is Advanced Supplements LLC.
Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Mullen, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved.
The next item for your consideration is a resolution correcting a pilot agreement that's due to commence in the 2021-22 tax year for the Pods Enterprises facility at 555 Prime Place in Hauppauge. This is just a Scrivener's error. There's no material change to the pilot agreement, but we did want to correct it for the lease agreement.
Okay, thank you. I'll make that motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
And the last item for your consideration is the approval of 3 more grants for the COVID-19 grant program.
Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Mullen, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
That's all I have.
And that's it.
Make a
Motion,
motion to adjourn.
motion by Councilman Cochran, second
Second.
by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you. Next, we'll move to item 2, Town Board authorization to clean up and secure certain properties in the town of Islip. We have a number today. Taryn, if you would.
Good afternoon, Madam Supervisor, members of the Town Board, Town Clerk, Taryn Jewell, Assistant Town Attorney, 655 Main Street, Islip, New York. Number 1, to board and clean up the premises located at 18 Horton Street, West Islip. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists an unsecured side door, 2 unsecured sheds with high grass, overgrown vegetation, and litter and debris, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
Are there any questions? Hearing none, motion? Motion. Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Number 2, to demolish an accessory structure located at 22 Andrew Avenue, Islip Terrace. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists an unsafe accessory structure, which is in immediate danger of collapse due to structural failure, disrepair, and neglect. The structure has been determined to be in imminent danger of collapse by our senior building inspector. The accessory structure constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
Any questions? Motion? Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second
Second.
by Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Number 3, to demolish an accessory structure located at 45 East Lakeland Street, Bay Shore. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists an unsafe accessory structure, which is in immediate danger of collapse due to structural failure, disrepair, and neglect. The structure has been determined to be in imminent danger of collapse by our senior building inspector. The accessory structure constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
Karen, is it just the accessory structure on here, or is there a house?
There is a house, but we're only asking to demolish
Right.
the accessory structure.
No, I understand. I see there's electric in the accessory.
Yes,
structure.
it's a shed, I
Yeah.
believe.
Yeah. Any questions? Hearing none, motion?
Motion to demo.
Thank you. Motion by Councilman Cochran, second.
Second.
By Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Number 4 has been withdrawn as it is now in compliance.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, let us move now to item 3. Authorization for the filing of an application for state grant in aid for a municipal waste reduction and a recycling project and signing of the associated state contract. Are there any questions? I see that Commissioner Blue is on the meeting. Thank you. Are there any questions? Hearing none, motion?
Motion. Make a
Motion by
motion.
Councilman Mullen, second
Second.
by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 4, authorization for the supervisor to enter into an emergency contract with Stang Carting for the provision of solid waste services within the Fair Harbor Garbage District on Fire Island. Are there any questions? Hearing none, motion? Motion by Councilman Bergen, second
Second.
by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Next, on the agenda are the bid awards. Any questions? Hearing none, motion? Motion by Councilman Mullen, second by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Next item are the option year resolutions. Any questions? Motion? Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second
Second.
by Councilwoman Mullen. Thank you. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 7, authorization for the town clerk to advertise for a public hearing to consider amending the town of Islip Uniform Traffic Code. All the locations are attached. I'll make that motion. Second.
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Bergen. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 8, authorization for the supervisor to enter into a memorandum and agreement with the County of Suffolk to grant the police department permission to utilize the town of Islip camera system. Are there any questions?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second
Second.
by Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 9, authorization for the supervisor to extend the professional service agreement with L.K. McLean Associates, B.C. for engineering and construction monitoring services for various road resurfacing projects in the town of Islip. Any questions? Hearing none. Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilwoman Bergen. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Town board acceptance is item 10 of a monetary donation from the Parks Foundation of the town of Islip to offset costs associated with the free drive-through holiday light show at Brookwood Hall this last December. Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Mullen, thank you.
Second.
Second by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 11, authorization for the supervisor to enter into an agreement with the Suffolk County Board of Elections to lease the gymnasium at 401 Main Street in Islip as an early voting polling place for special, primary, and general elections. Any questions? Hearing none, motion?
I'll make a
Motion.
motion.
Thank you. Motion by Councilman Mullen, second
Second.
by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 12, authorization for the town clerk to advertise for public hearing to consider amending the 2021 contract with Brentwood Legion Ambulance for emergency ambulance services for the residents in the district. Any questions? Motion? Motion by Councilman Bergen. I'll second that motion. All in favor? Opposed?
Recuse.
We have 4 in favor, 1 recusal. The motion carries. We will now go to item 13 rather, which are the appropriation transfers. Are there any questions? Hearing none. Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 14, town board approval of the list of eligible participants submitted by the 5 ambulance corps for participation in the 2020 Service Awards Program, known as the LoSAP program. Are there any questions? Hearing none, I'll make that motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It is approved with one recusal. Item 15, authorization for the supervisor to execute a request for FAA approval of agreement for transfer of entitlements pertaining to the Bayport Aerodrome entitlement funds for fiscal year 2018. Are there any questions? Hearing none, motion.
Motion.
Motion by Councilwoman Mullins, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Authorization for the supervisor to execute a second amendment to the lease agreement between the town of Islip and Shells Dare for the release of the option lease parcel consisting of 3.97 acres to the town of Islip. Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilwoman Bergen. Thank you. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 17, authorization for the supervisor to enter into an agreement with VHB Engineering, Surveying, Landscape, Architecture, and Geology, PC, for secret administration and support services for the proposed redevelopment of the former Island Hills Golf Club in Sayville. Any questions? Hearing none. Motion. Motion by Councilman Bergen, second.
Second.
Second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 18, authorization for the supervisor to execute a license agreement with Strong's Marine LLC for the operation and maintenance of Atlantique Marina. I just want to thank everyone that worked on this. There was a very robust process that took place. There were many bids received and a very thorough vetting of everything. And everyone has been briefed, had a lot of questions, and it was really a very good process. So I just want to thank everyone for that.
Make the motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 19, acceptance of an easement from 142F Realty LLC to permit the installation and maintenance of 2 decorative lights within a portion of its property located at 2307 Union Boulevard in Bayshore. Any questions? I'll make that motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 20, authorization for the town clerk to advertise for public hearing to consider amending the official map of the town of Islip by deleting a portion of Cherokee Street, Ronkonkoma, as it is discontinued and abandoned by order of the superintendent of highways. Any questions?
Motion.
Hearing none. Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by
Second.
Councilwoman Mullen. Thank you. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 21 are the capital budget amendments. We are going to need a roll call on this. Joe, are you on the call?
Yeah,
Yes,
we
you
don't
are.
need a roll. We don't need a roll call for this one.
Oh,
Just for
okay.
just for the next 2.
Okay, very good. Any questions? Hearing none. Motion?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you. Councilwoman Mullen made the motion. I'll second the motion. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 22. This is what we will need the roll call for. Joe, if you want to just give us a brief overview of it.
Sure. As I'm sure everybody is aware, the interest rates, especially since COVID has hit, have just, been in the tank. And while it doesn't help us on our investment side, it certainly helps us on our debt side. So once again, we have an opportunity to basically and simplistically refinance our debt for a cheaper interest rate, thus saving the town money. The estimates that we have right now is that we're going to save about $100,000 for each of the next 5 years, including this year, and then about $50,000 in the last 2 years of the debt. It should be noted, and it's very important to note this, that this does not extend the life of the debt. We are not allowed to do that by general and municipal law. So the final payment is going to be due the same way it was if we did not refinance. But the benefit is, like I said, that it's going to save us, close to $600,000 when all is said and done.
Well, I know the last time we did a refi last year, it was only about $6 million, but we were able to get that refinancing at 0.29%, which is like incredible. So I'm really anxious to see you wield your magic, Joe, and get us numbers that are comparable, if not lower.
I think lower might be a bit much of an ask, but I think comparable is still where we're at. I would expect them to be slightly higher than this time last year, but again, nothing that's going to be significant. And again, it's still going to wind up saving us money in the long run.
Yeah, terrific. Thank you for all your work on this. We really appreciate it.
No problem.
Any other questions? Is there a motion? All right, roll call on the vote. Motion by Councilwoman Bergen, second by Councilwoman Mullen. All those, roll call, please, clerk.
Councilwoman Bergen? Councilwoman Bergen?
Yeah, she said
Councilwoman
yes.
Mullen?
Yes.
I said yes, sorry.
Councilman O'Connor?
Yes.
Councilman Cochran?
Yes.
Supervisor Carpenter?
Yes,
Motion passes unanimously.
great. Okay, Joe, if you would, give a quick overview on the next bond resolution, and likewise, we'll do a roll call on this vote.
Sure. So when we had sat last year and we were approving our 2020 capital bond resolutions, shortly thereafter is when the COVID world took over. The bond market had kind of dried up, and we decided, rightfully so, to pull back on a lot of the projects. Those projects are still authorized, so therefore we don't need to reauthorize similar like projects. The listing that you guys have in front of you and that we'd gone over with the town attorney in the briefings are just the new projects that we don't have money for. In the normal grand scheme of things, we're approving projects somewhere between the $18 to $22 million range. Like I said, we're going to be able to act on stuff that was approved last year. So the only new authorizations we're looking at is just under $7 million. I believe you guys all have the breakdown. And for the most part, it's the same meat and potatoes type stuff we do on a regular basis, some facility improvements, some equipment acquisitions. The big two numbers here, one which we'd kind of already addressed in the previous resolution on the capital budget amendment, that's for the improvements to town facilities. And the other big one here that just needs to get pointed out is that there is the expectation to do a synthetic soccer field up in Central Islip. And there is, I believe, a corresponding grant that we've received from Councilman Ramos, and that's going to help offset the cost.
Yeah, actually, it was Assemblyman Phil Ramos who has pledged that grant, and I do believe that paperwork has already been started. Are there any questions? Okay, I'll make the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Cochran. Roll call on the vote.
Wait a minute, there are several different bonds. So which bond are we talking with? Are we talking with the first one for 515,000?
We are taking all of the bonds in one vote, is my understanding. Correct, Joe?
No, each bond resolution has to be addressed individually. So we have, I believe it's 8 resolutions. There should be 8 separate votes.
Yeah, so the first one is that various projects in for the town of Islip and the amount of $515,000.
Okay, I made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Roll call on the vote.
Okay, Supervisor,
Yes.
Councilman Cochran,
Yes.
Councilman O'Connor,
Yes.
Councilwoman Mullen,
Yes.
Councilwoman Bergen.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, number 2, the athletic field improvements.
I'll make
Do I
the
have a
motion.
motion? Thank
I'll make
you. Councilman O'Connor made the motion. Second
I'll second.
by Councilwoman Mullen. Roll call.
Councilman O'Connor,
Yes.
Councilwoman Mullen,
Yes.
Councilwoman Bergen,
Yes.
Councilman Cochran,
Yes.
Supervisor.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously.
Okay, item Bond number 3 of the construction of sidewalk improvements. Any questions? Motion?
That motion, Supervisor.
Thank you. Motion by Councilwoman Bergen, second by Councilwoman Mullen. Roll call on the vote.
Councilwoman Bergen,
Yes.
Councilwoman Mullen,
yes,
Councilman O'Connor,
Yes.
Councilman Cochran,
yes,
Supervisor.
Yes,
Motion carries unanimously.
thank you. Item 4, the intersection improvements. Keeping our roads safe, so this is a good thing. I'll
This
make
is
that
the-
motion. Do I have
For
a second?
300,000 for intersection?
I think that's what I said, yes.
Okay,
Bond number 4 rather. I made the motion. I have a second.
Second.
Second by Councilman O'Connor. Roll call on the vote.
Supervisor,
Yes,
Councilman O'Connor,
Yes.
Councilwoman Mullen,
yes,
Councilman Cochran,
yes,
Councilwoman Bergen.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously.
thank you. Bond number 5 of the construction of drainage improvements townwide. Any questions? A motion on the bond?
motion,
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilman O'Connor. Roll call on the vote.
Councilman Cochran,
yes,
Councilman O'Connor,
Yes.
Councilwoman Mullen,
yes,
Councilwoman Bergen,
Yes.
Supervisor Carpenter.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously.
Bond 6 is the acquisition of heavy-duty vehicles and equipment. A lot of this for DEC, compost, and the multi-purpose recycling facility. Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor,
Second.
second by Councilman Cochran. Roll call on the vote.
Councilman O'Connor,
Yes.
Councilman Cochran,
yes,
Councilwoman Mullen,
yes,
Councilwoman Bergen,
Yes.
Supervisor Carpenter.
Yes,
Motion carries unanimously.
thank you. Bond number 7, improvements to town facilities. And I know this does include town hall, addressing some of our handicapped accessibility to the building, namely the elevator and a roof that needs to be replaced. So there are things that need to be done, and also other facilities across the town. I'll make that motion. Do I have a second?
second,
Second, Councilman Cochran. Roll call on the vote.
Okay, Supervisor Carpenter,
Yes,
Councilman Cochran,
yes,
Councilman O'Connor,
Yes.
Councilwoman Mullen,
yes,
Councilwoman Bergen.
Just before I cast my vote, does this also include HVAC?
yes.
Okay,
I mean,
great.
there is some funding for the HVAC. This will, fill any holes that need to be filled, but we have some of the HVAC money already.
Yeah, okay, because we just
But
can't have
yes,
employees working in
know.
no heat again this winter. That was
Yeah,
great.
it's been a very trying winter.
Yes. My vote is yes. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you. And bond number 8, the asphalt improvements to the compost facility. Any questions on this? Motion?
motion,
Thank you. Motion by Councilman Cochran, second
Second.
by Councilwoman Bergen. Roll call on the vote.
Councilman Cochran,
yes,
Councilwoman Bergen,
Yes.
Councilman O'Connor,
Yes.
Councilwoman Mullen,
yes,
Supervisor Carpenter.
Yes,
Motion carries unanimously.
thank you. Again, Joe, thank you so much, and to all the department heads for their work in helping pull this all together. It is much appreciated. And especially with the cost of money being so reasonable, it really makes sense to do whatever we can or afford to do now. So we thank you. Item 24, drive-in movie approval. Any questions? Hearing none, motion?
Make that motion to approve.
Thank you. Motion by Councilwoman Bergen, second
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It is approved. Item 25, Town Board approval to extend the town's planning department's ability to issue temporary outdoor dining permits through October 31st. I know our restaurant community was most appreciative of the efforts of the department. So I want to thank Ron and his team in turning those permits around free of charge almost instantly. And it was much appreciated. And this gives them, you know, an ability to plan through the summer and know what's going on. And hopefully we'll be out of it by then or safer. Any questions?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second
Second.
by Councilman Mullen. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It is approved. And I do believe that is it. There is no other business to come before us. Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Councilman Bergen. Motion second.
Second.
Second by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? We stand adjourned. Thank you so much.